Today we're diving into a tiny world full of charm and personality, where even the smallest additions can completely transform a space. We'll explore little wonders that are surprisingly easy to care for, perfect for brightening up shelves, desks, or cozy corners. And by the end, you'll see just how much joy these miniature treasures can bring into your home without taking over. Stick around, because this tiny journey is full of surprises you won't want to miss. First up, we've got Baby Tears, a lush little carpet of green that somehow makes even the smallest corner feel alive. Picture gently tucking it into a tiny pot on your desk and watching it spread like a soft green blanket. It loves humidity, so a mist here and there keeps it happy. The delicate leaves bounce with any movement in the room, making your space feel playful. It's perfect for terrariums where it can create its own little forest scene. You can pair it with stones or miniature figurines to make a whimsical setup. Baby Tears thrives in indirect light, so it won't stress out under a window that gets soft morning sun. The contrast of its tiny leaves against darker soil makes every glance satisfying. It grows slowly so it won't overwhelm your arrangement, but gives enough presence to make a statement. Caring for it is surprisingly simple if you keep the soil moist and airy, and by placing it near other tiny companions. It creates a vibrant little ecosystem that feels alive and welcoming in any nook. Next up, we have String of Pearls, a quirky little trail of round bead-like leaves that drape beautifully over the edges of pots. Imagine it cascading down a shelf or hanging basket, each tiny sphere catching the light and adding movement to your space. It's a low-maintenance charmer that thrives with bright, indirect light, letting those pearls glisten like a natural necklace. The stems grow long and elegant, so you can weave them around other tiny companions for a layered, whimsical look. It loves well-draining soil and occasional watering. The contrast between its trailing form and upright plants nearby creates depth in any miniature garden. You can trim or propagate it easily to expand your collection. Every little pearl seems to have personality, giving your indoor nook a playful, dynamic vibe, and watching it slowly unfurl over time is surprisingly satisfying, turning even a simple pot into a show-stopping tiny display. Then we have the air plant, a magical little green wonder that doesn't need soil to thrive. Picture it perched on driftwood, rocks, or even inside a glass globe. Twisting and turning in its unique shapes like it's dancing in the air, it loves bright, indirect light and a quick soak or mist a few times a week to stay happy. Its spiky, sculptural form adds texture and intrigue to any tiny garden setup. You can pair it with moss, pebbles, or tiny figurines for a mini display that feels alive. Air plants are perfect for corners where traditional pots won't fit. Their low-maintenance nature makes them ideal for busy spaces. Every glance reveals a new angle or curve that keeps your eyes exploring. They bring an airy, whimsical vibe to shelves or desktops, and with a little love and the right placement, they transform simple spaces into elegant, tiny green worlds. Next up is Donkey's Tail, a charming little succulent with thick, trailing stems that spill over the edges of pots like a playful green waterfall. Each plump leaf catches the light, giving your tiny garden a sense of movement and life. It thrives in bright, indirect sunlight and prefers soil that drains well to keep those tails plump and healthy. Imagine it dangling from a hanging planter or draping over a shelf, creating a layered, dynamic look. You can gently twist or rearrange the stems to fit your miniature setup perfectly. The cascading form contrasts beautifully with upright companions, adding depth and texture to any corner. It's low maintenance yet striking, making even the simplest arrangement feel deliberate and stylish. Watching it grow slowly over time is oddly satisfying, and placing it near other tiny plants turns a small nook into a vibrant, living display that's full of character. Then we have Scotch Moss, a soft, cushiony little green gem that instantly adds a lush, vibrant feel to any tiny garden. Its delicate, feathery texture makes it perfect for filling in gaps between other miniature plants, or creating a mossy carpet in a terrarium. It loves bright, indirect light and consistently moist soil to stay plump and healthy. Imagine tucking it around stones or tiny figurines to create a whimsical fairy tale-like scene. The rich green hue contrasts beautifully with darker pots or earthy accents. It's surprisingly low maintenance, but rewards care with a full, thriving appearance. Scotch Moss grows slowly, so it keeps your arrangement looking neat while still giving life and vibrancy. The soft texture invites you to gently touch and admire it. Placing it near trailing or upright companions adds layers and depth, and its presence transforms any small nook into a cozy, enchanting corner that feels alive and welcoming. Next up is woolly thyme, a tiny, textured powerhouse that adds both charm and subtle fragrance to your miniature garden. Its soft, fuzzy leaves create a silvery green carpet that feels almost like walking through a tiny meadow. It thrives in bright, indirect light and well-draining soil, making it surprisingly easy to care for. Imagine tucking it into small pots, between stones, or along the edges of your miniature setups for a natural, layered look. Its low-growing, spreading habit adds depth and contrast. When paired with trailing or upright companions, every glance reveals the fine, velvety texture that makes your tiny corner feel rich and detailed. The gentle aroma adds another sensory layer to your indoor nook. It's resilient yet delicate in appearance, turning ordinary spaces into cozy, inviting mini landscapes. And over time, it forms a lush little carpet that ties your whole tiny garden together beautifully. Then we have Venus Flytrap, a tiny little carnivorous wonder that brings a hint of drama and excitement to your indoor garden. Its jaw-like leaves snap shut with a satisfying click when a tiny insect lands, giving your nook a playful, interactive vibe. It thrives in bright, indirect light and loves consistently moist, acidic soil to stay healthy. Imagine placing it in a small pot or terrarium where its unique form stands out among softer companions. The delicate teeth and vibrant green-red coloring add texture and contrast to your miniature setup. It's low-growing but full of personality, making it a focal point without overwhelming other tiny plants. Watching its leaves move slowly and react is strangely mesmerizing. Pairing it with moss or trailing plants enhances the miniature ecosystem feel, and caring for it becomes a small, daily joy that turns your indoor corner into a living miniature adventure. Next up is African Violet, a petite and charming bloom that instantly brightens any tiny garden with its soft, colorful flowers. Its fuzzy, dark green leaves add a velvety texture that contrasts beautifully with the delicate petals. It thrives in bright, indirect light and enjoys evenly moist soil without getting soggy. Imagine placing it on a windowsill, shelf, or small tabletop where its blooms can catch your eye. The compact size makes it perfect for layering with other miniature plants. Every tiny flower feels like a cheerful pop of color in your indoor nook. Its slow, steady growth allows you to enjoy each stage of development. Pairing it with trailing or textured companions creates a dynamic, balanced look. And tending to it, checking soil, misting lightly becomes a satisfying little ritual, transforming even a small corner into a vibrant, living display full of charm and personality. Finally, we have Purple Shamrock, a striking little plant with deep triangular leaves that open and close like tiny fans throughout the day. Its rich purple hue adds a bold, dramatic touch to any tiny garden. It thrives in bright, indirect light and prefers well-draining soil with moderate watering. Imagine tucking it into a small pot or terrarium where its color pops against softer greens. The delicate, fluttering movement of the leaves gives your nook a sense of life and whimsy. Its compact size makes it easy to pair with trailing or textured companions for a layered miniature display. Every glance reveals subtle changes in hue and shape that keep your setup feeling dynamic. It's low maintenance but full of character, transforming ordinary corners into vibrant, visually engaging spaces. And placing it among other tiny plants creates a tiny ecosystem that feels alive, colorful, and endlessly fascinating. And that's a wrap on our tiny plant tour, each one bringing its own charm and personality to your indoor garden. With just a little care, you can turn any nook into a lively, cozy, and vibrant miniature paradise. So grab your favorites and start creating your own tiny green world today.